Journey to the West, an audio drama series. Chapter 25, Part 1. We now speak of the three brothers who, upon arriving at the hall, asked their master, "The rice will be ready soon. What are you calling us for?" Sanzang said, "Disciples, I'm not asking about the rice. In this temple of theirs, there is something called the renshen fruit, which looks like a child. Which one of you stole and ate their fruit?" Bajie answered, "I'm an honest man. I have no idea. I never saw it." Qingfeng then said, "It's he who is smiling. It's the smiling one." Xingzhe shouted, "Elder Sun is born with this smile on my face. Are you saying that I'm not allowed to smile because you are missing some fruit?" Sanzang interrupted, "Disciples, calm yourselves. We are people who have left the family. We shall not lie and consume food that betrays the heart. If you did eat their fruit, just apologize. Why bother denying it?" Xingzhe saw that his master was making a good argument, so he confessed, "Master, it has nothing to do with me. It was Bajie who heard the two Taoist youths eating some renshen fruit next door, and he wanted to try one himself. He had Elder Sun go knock 3 off, so we brothers each had one. We already ate them. What do you want from us now?" Mingyue said, "You stole 4 from us, and this monk is still saying he isn't a thief." Bajie exclaimed, "Namo Amitabha, if you did steal 4 of them, why did you only share 3? Why are you keeping one as commission?" The fool quickly turned on Wukong, rambling on about unfair events. As the 2 immortal youths received the truthful answers, they became increasingly vulgar towards the brothers. Agitated, the great sage gritted his steel teeth and opened wide his fire eyes. Ringing his golden-hooped rod again and again, trying to control his temper again and again, he muttered, "These boys, berating us to our faces. Fine, we can take that, but I'll offer them a price of no future so no one gets to eat the fruit at all." Splendid, Xingzhe. So he pulled a hair from the back of his head and blew some immortal air onto it, saying, "Change." It transformed into a fake Xingzhe who stood beside the Tang monk, receiving all the insults from the Taoist youths alongside Wu Neng and Wu Jing. His real self, on the other hand, left in the form of spirit. Crossing clouds, he jumped over and came straight into the Renshen garden. Wielding his golden-hooped rod, he struck the tree with a bang. He then used his divine powers of mountain moving to push the tree over. Poor thing! Leaves fallen, branches broken, and roots exposed. The Taoists have forever lost their grass pellet of reversion. Once the great sage pushed the tree over, he began searching for fruit on the branches. And where could he even find half a fruit? It turned out that this treasure fell when touched by gold. The tips of his rod were wrapped in gold and iron, a common metal, so the fruit fell off when the tree was hit. Once they fell, they assimilated into the earth, leaving none hanging on the tree. He then said, Fine, let's all call it a day." So he withdrew his iron rod and came back to the front. With a shake of the hair, he retrieved it back onto his body. The rest of them have fleshly eyes and mortal bodies, so they could not tell what actually took place. We speak of the immortal youths who took their time throwing insults. Qingfeng said, "Mingyue, these monks can really take some grievances. It's as if we were scolding chickens. We've gone on for this long, yet none have made a sound. I'm guessing maybe they did not steal the fruit after all. It could be that the tree was too tall and the leaves too thick that we miscounted. We should not insult them for the wrong reasons. Let's go have another look." Mingyue replied, "I agree." The 2 of them indeed returned to the garden. What they saw was the tree fallen and its branches broken, all fruit gone and leaves scattered. They were so frightened that Qingfeng's feet went numb and he fell over, and Mingyue's waist went soft and he shivered. As their souls left their bodies, the pair dropped to the ground, incoherently repeating, "What are we to do? What are we to do? He murdered the prime elixir of Wuzhuang Temple and ended the bloodline of this immortal house. When Master comes home, how are we to explain this?" Mingyue then suggested. Elder brother, let's not yell about it. We shall tidy our clothes and not disturb these monks. No one else could have done this but that creature with a hairy face and the mouth of a thunder god. It had to be him who did some out-of-body trick and ruined our treasure. If we try to blame him for it, he will surely deny it and an argument will ensue. Once there is an argument, it will lead to blows. Think about that. How can the two of us win against 4 of them? I think we had better fool them and say no fruit went missing after all. We only miscounted and we shall apologize to them instead. Their food is now ready. When they're eating, we can make some more side dishes for them. Once they're each holding a bowl, you will stand on the left side of the door and I the right side before we shut the doors tight and lock them. We will lock all the gates up and not let them out. Once Master returns, we'll let him handle them however he pleases. The Tang monk, he's an acquaintance of Master after all. If Master forgives him, the grace is his. If he does not forgive them, we caught the thieves after all, so maybe we'll be spared from punishment. Qing Feng heard this and said, That's right, that's very right. So the 2 of them forced their spirits up and put on a cheerful face before returning to the main hall from the back garden. Bowing to the Tang monk, they said, Master, we have been rather vulgar just now and greatly offended you. Please forgive us, please do. Sanzang asked, What do you mean? Qing Feng answered, No fruit is missing. It's only because the tree was so tall and the leaves so thick that we failed to make a clear count. Just now we went to check again and the numbers are just right. Ba Jie quickly chimed in, saying, You boys are so young and naive. Throwing wild insults at us like that and cursing without cause. You wronged us. How very inappropriate. Xingzhe knew exactly what happened, but he said nothing, only thinking to himself, This is a lie indeed. The fruit is done with. Why did they say such a thing? I guess they have a way to revive it from death. Sanzang said, If that's the case, do bring us food so we can eat before we leave. Ba Jie thereby left to bring food while Sha monk arranged the table and chairs. The 2 youths hurriedly brought some side dishes, including pickled and hard-boiled vegetables. There were a total of some 7 or 8 plates of food for the master and disciples to enjoy. They also brought a pot of fine tea and 2 teacups before standing aside to wait on the guests. The 4 of them had only just picked up their bowls when the boys, each standing on one side, slammed the door shut before bolting it with a double-spring copper lock. Ba Jie chuckled and said, These boys don't know better. You've got some bad customs here. Why are you making us eat inside closed doors? Mingyue responded, That's right. You've got to finish the food before we open the doors. Qing Feng lashed out and said, You damn gluttonous stealing bald thieves! You stole our immortal fruit and committed the crime of eating produce from our garden without permission. You even knocked over our immortal tree and broke the divine root of this Wuzhuang temple of ours. And you're still trying to argue with us. If people like you want to reach the West and see Buddha, the only way is to wait till you die and rebirth again into the cradle. Sanzang heard their words and dropped his bowl, his heart instantly burdened with a heavy weight. The youths locked the first and second layers of gates before returning to the doors of the main hall. With nasty insults and calling them thieves, they cursed till it got dark and it was time to eat. Once they were done eating, they returned to their rooms. The Tang monk complained to Xingzhe, saying, You monkey head are always causing trouble. If you stole their fruit, just take the blame. Let them scold you for a bit, and that would have been the end of it. Why knock over their tree? If that's what caused all this and they file a lawsuit, even if your father was the judge, you wouldn't be able to get away. Xingzhe said, Don't make a fuss about it, master. The boys have gone to sleep. Once they're asleep, we will get out during the night. Sha monk said, Oh, brother, several layers of doors have been locked and shut tight. How are we to leave? Xingzhe laughed and said, Don't you bother. Elder Sun knows just what to do. Ba Jie said, As if we are worried you haven't got a plan. You can transform into a tiny bug and fly out from a hole in the window. It's us who can't transform who are left shouldering your blame. The tongue monk said, If he really were to do something like that and leave without us, I will recite that old-time sutra and he wouldn't withstand it. 八戒 heard his words and laughed worriedly, saying, Master, what are you talking about? I've only heard of the Sulamgam Sutra, Lotus Sutra, Peacock Sutra, Guanyin Sutra, and Diamond Sutra, but never any old-time sutra. Xingzhe explained, Brother, you have no idea. This band I'm wearing on my head was a gift from Guanyin Bodhisattva to my master. Master fooled me into putting it on. It became rooted and cannot be taken off. This is called the tightening band spell, or the tightening band sutra. That's what he means by old-time sutra. If he recites it, my head will hurt. That's how he can give me a hard time. Master, don't you recite it. I will certainly not betray you. I will make sure we all leave together. By the time they were done talking, it was already dusk. Without realizing, the moon had risen from the east. Xingzhe said, The world is quiet now and the moon is quite bright. It's a good time for us to leave. Bajie said, Oh, big brother, don't you mess with us. All the doors are locked. Where are we even going? Xingzhe said, Watch my trick. Splendid, Xingzhe. With his golden hooped rod in hand, he used the trick of lock opening. By pointing at the door with a clanking sound, he made the double spring locks from every layer of doors drop to the ground as the gates flung open. Bajie laughed and said, A fine job indeed. Even a smith handling a mixing rod could not finish a job this fast. Xingzhe said, What's so impressive about this door? Even if it's the southern gate of heaven, I can open it with the point of my finger. And so they helped their master out the door and onto the horse. Bajie carried the luggage and Shamak stayed beside the horse as they headed westward. Xingzhe said, You can walk on slowly. Let elder son take care of those two little ones so they sleep for a month. Sanzang said, Disciple, do not harm their lives. Otherwise you will have committed the crime of murder after theft. Xingzhe said, I know. And so he entered the place again and arrived outside the bedroom of the youths. In his waist, he kept some drowsy bucks, which he won by playing guessing games with Heavenly King Rudak at the eastern gate of heaven. He took 2 out and flipped them inside through the lattices. The bucks hopped straight onto the boys' faces and made them fall deep asleep without a chance of waking up. Only then did he catch up to the tongue monk in cloudy strides and ran westward on the main road. All night, the horse did not rest its hoofs as they walked till dawn broke. Sanzang said, You monkey head are killing me. It's all because of your mouth that I couldn't sleep at all last night. Xingzhe said, Don't just complain. It's brightening up now. You might as well take a rest in the woods by the road. We will resume walking once you regain some strength. The elder could only get off the horse and sit leaning against the root of a pine tree as if it was a monk bed. Sha monk put away the luggage and began taking a nap, while Bajie slept using a rock as pillow. Only great sage Sun had the spirit to play around jumping between trees and pulling on branches. The 4 rested up, and we will speak no more on that. We now speak of the great immortal who, having finished the lecture in Primordial Lord's palace, led his many young immortals out of Tushta. Descending straight from the jade skies and dropping on auspicious clouds, they soon made it back to the entrance of Wuzhuang Temple on Infinite Longevity Mountain. When they looked around, they found the temple gates wide open and the floor clean. The great immortal said, Qingfeng and Mingyue have been quite useful. Usually they would have barely stretched their waist even when the sun is high up in the skies. But today, while we are absent, they were willing to get up early and sweep the floors with the gate open. The many younger immortals were also happy to see this. When they made it onto the main hall, they found all the offerings gone and not a soul could be seen. Where even were Mingyue and Qingfeng? The immortals said, The 2 of them must have taken advantage of our absence and left after sweeping everything away. The great immortal said, Nonsense. One who cultivates for immortality dare not have evil thoughts like that. They must have gone to sleep last night and forgot to shut the doors. They might still be asleep this morning." The immortals went to their rooms to check, and indeed, the doors were shut and the boys were deep asleep. They knocked and shouted, but nothing managed to wake them up. The many immortals had to pry open the doors and pull them off bed by the head, but still they could not wake up. The great immortal laughed and said, "Fine immortal youths. People who become immortals no longer feel the need to sleep once their spirit becomes full. How did they get this tired? Could it be that someone tricked them? Quickly bring me water." Another youth hurriedly brought half a bowl of water and handed it to the great immortal. The great immortal then recited a spell, held the water in his mouth before spitting it out onto the boys' faces. The drowsy spell was instantly broken. Only then did the pair wake up. Suddenly opening their eyes, they wiped their faces, looked up and saw it was the Lord equivalent to the universe along with their immortal elder brothers. Panicking, Qing Feng prostrated and Ming Yue kowtowed, saying, "Oh, master, your acquaintance, those monks from the east, turned out to be a group of ferocious bandits." The great immortal laughed and said, "Don't be afraid. Take your time and tell me all about it." Qing Feng said, "Oh, master, soon after you left the other day, there indeed was a Tang monk coming from the land of the east. There were 4 monks in total, 5 if you count the horse. Your disciples dare not disobey your orders, master, so we asked why they were here before presenting 2 renshen fruit. That elder had mortal eyes and a foolish heart, so he did not recognize the treasures of this immortal household. He said there were children barely 3 days old and wouldn't eat them even when we urged them to. It's your disciples who then each ate one. What we didn't know was that he had 3 disciples under him, and one of them, called Sun Wukong Xingzhe, stole 4 pieces of fruit to eat. Your disciples tried to reason with him and utter some honest words. He couldn't bear it somehow and secretly played a trick where his spirit escaped. Oh, how terrible!" The 2 boys talked as tears kept falling down their cheeks. The immortals asked, "Did the monk beat you?" Ming Yue answered, "He didn't beat us, just pushed over our renshen tree." The great immortal heard this but did not grow angry. He said, Don't cry. You were not aware that the one named Sun is somewhat of an unaffiliated immortal. He once caused havoc in heaven and has immense powers. Now that they have knocked over our precious tree, will you be able to recognize the monks?" Qing Feng said, "We do recognize them." The great immortal said, "If so, do follow me. The rest of you shall get the instruments of torture ready. Wait till I come back and give him a good beating." The immortals received their orders as the great immortal, along with Ming Yue and Qing Feng, rose in auspicious light to catch up to Sanzang. In moments, they already crossed 1,000 li. The great immortal observed westward from the clouds but could not see the Tang monk. Only when he turned around to look eastward did he say, "We are 900 li ahead." It turned out that even though the elder did not rest his horse all night, he only managed to move 120 li forward. When the great immortal traveled on his cloud, he went 900 li too far. The immortal youth said, "Master, that one sitting under the tree by the road is the Tang monk." The great immortal said, "I see him now. The 2 of you shall head home and prepare some rope. I shall capture them on my own." And so Qing Feng and Ming Yue made their way back. We will speak no more on that.